Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm playing with another one of OP14's newest leaders, Black Crocodile, the former leader of Baroque Works and a former warlord of the sea, now a member of the Cross Guild. But for this specific set, he goes back to these old archetypes of being a warlord and a Baroque Works leader. His effects include not being able to remove your opponent's characters from the board due to your own effects, and the other one being activate main, KO one of your Baroque Works characters, and give one of your opponents -10 cost. After that, you have the option of milling or trashing two cards from the top of your deck. Right off the bat, you can see he's not quite the traditional black leader, where you just get to clear board with your leader and support cards. In this instance, you don't actually get to remove any cards from the board, except your own. You'll get to see later how the new mechanics of this deck works, but just know that this deck focuses on being able to swarm the board through your trash and stunning your opponents using the 8 cost secret card from OP14 Crocodile. So without further ado, you have in front of you the overall deck list that I use. Starting off with the main attacking lines, 8 cost 10,000 power Crocodile. This card has quite a lot of staying power because of its second effect, but before we go into that, I'd like to talk about why it's such an important piece of this deck. It's mainly because of its on-play effect of being able to stop your opponent's character from attacking. And if your opponent has a cost 0 or 8 cost character on the board, you get to draw one card. You already stop one of your opponent's aggression. And then on KO, you trash a card from your hand and bring Crocodile back to the field, which also means you get to recycle the on-play effect. This card can be quite annoying, especially once you're able to chain multiple of them in a row. Next, we have Missile Sunday, aka Nico Robin, 7 cost AK power. She basically acts like what Gecko Moria used to do for black decks, because her on play allows her to bring back two Baroque Works characters, one a 4 cost or less, and another a 1 cost. Then we have the other black SR from the set, Bon Clay Mr. 2. 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter. On KO, you get to bring back one of your 5 cost or less Baroque Works characters from the trash. Then we have Mr. 1 does Bones, 5 cost, 6k power, 1k counter. If your opponent has a 0 cost or 8 cost or more character on the field, this character gains Character Rush, meaning that it can attack characters on the turn that it's played. Then on play, if there is a 0 cost character in play, rest one of your opponent's 5 cost or less characters. So very good for disabling blockers. Over on the next row, we have some of the additional support lines for Crocodile, starting with Miss Double Finger on the left, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter. If you have 7 or more cards in your trash, give this card plus 1000 power and all of your Baroque Works type characters plus 2 cost. I'd say quite useful in enabling your board to stay intact. Then right beside her, just as a personal choice of mine, an additional attacking line in Smoker from all the way back in Starter Deck 06. 5 cost, 7k power. This character cannot be KO'd by effects. And then Dawn times 1 if your opponent has a 0 cost on board, this character gains double attack, which I personally feel syncs up so well with the leader effect. Then we have Mr. 5, 5 cost 6k power, 1k counter. It is a blocker that has the on-play ability of being able to draw 2, trash 1 if there is a 0 cost character in play. Then we have Mr. 4, 4 cost, 5k power, 1k counter, another blocker that can on KO bring back a Baroque Works character with a cost of 8 or less into your hand. Now we have the event card Ground Death, a 1 cost event that requires you to rest 2 of your Dons in exchange for negating one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. It also has the counter effect of being able to grant one of your leader characters plus 4000. Then on the bottom line, we start off with our searchers, Miss Valentine and the event card Disappointed. They basically search for the same thing, Baroque Works characters, and the remaining cards that are not chosen go to the trash. Finally, we have our 2k counters, Miss Golden Week, Miss Merry Christmas, and Vivian Nefertari, aka Miss Wednesday. Miss Golden Week on KO allows you to draw 2, trash 2. Miss Merry Christmas allows you to draw a card and KO one of your opponents, cost 1 stage. Finally, Miss Wednesday and it allows you to activate its effect. If your opponent has a 0 cost on the board, give that character -3000 power. Having tested this deck out, I would say that it's quite effective but lacks some bit of support, especially in the middle to end game. But assuming that you're able to just chain multiple crocodiles in successive turns, it can be quite devastating for your opponent. I didn't really show it here because I wanted to demonstrate how to effectively use this deck. But in a previous game, I could not find any of my crocodiles and I basically just lost. In my opinion, overall, Crocodile has the most potential to become a top tier deck with the right amount of support. I don't know what that is at this stage yet, but all I know is that it needs a bit of work. That's not to say that it isn't strong, but against the other decks in OP14, I'd say it's somewhere in the middle. Also, for those who would want to try out this deck, I would say there is a bit of a learning curve, mostly in how you sequence your different effects. And as you can see in the video, I've made quite a lot of mistakes. But overall, I'd say this is a refreshing new take on black decks in that you don't just get rid of your opponent's board, especially nowadays when there are a lot of anti removal cards in different colors. In terms of your curve, I find that I would prefer the even curve, but the odd curve works just fine. Within your first two turns, I prioritize searching and filling up your trash with the necessary support for later on. Then, the middle game, I would say bring out Bon Clay, Das Bones, or Nico Robin, or should I say Miss All Sunday, and try to keep your board that way. Miss Double Finger also doesn't hurt. And of course, if you want to make sure that you're able to keep up, I'd also want to bring out Smoker, which I did in the game, although I did use its effect wrongly, but sure. And of course, going into your end game, there is no other card to play but Crocodile, which is why it's very important to be able to find him within your opening. But hey, I've only played a few games using this deck. I think there are still a lot of permutations that can be done for this deck. For example, I am trying to experiment with other cards like Shirahoshi and some of the Black Navy cards from OP02. The old Vice Admirals such as Strawberry, Momonga, and the like, who all have, when attacking effects that rely on having a zero cost on the board. So, like I've been saying the past maybe two videos, I like OP14 as a set because it feels like it's brought something new to the game. It's not just a set that brings another few new powerful leaders, but it also allows you to rethink how you play certain lines, how you play certain colors, with Crocodile and the Purple Doflamingo deck being the top examples. So, for those who think that OP14 as a set is pretty weak, maybe I'd rethink that. As a set, its real value isn't in terms of the overall power that it brings, but just that it kind of helps refresh you if you're sort of getting tired of the game. So yeah, I know the more popular decks include Mihawk, Boa, and the Purple Doflamingo, but I would encourage you to actually give this deck a try. I'm having a lot of fun just trying to learn how to work this new deck, and I feel like once someone fully understands how it works, then it becomes really a top tier deck. That's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed this video and wait for a few more ones to come. As always, if there are any leaders that you would want us to try, please let me know down in the comments, or if you think there are misplays or changes to the deck that I can make, shout them out also to me in the comments. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content similar to this. For now, bye.